Where are the best countries in the world for cryptocurrency mining? Especially with crypto prices hitting new lows, people are looking for energy efficient places to go and to do their mining operations. Now, I happen to think that crypto lows, while unpleasant, are not only, of course, a great way for you to buy into cryptos that you believe in, but they're also a great way to realign your global perspective, to force you to seek out new and easier places to do mining, and to seek out an entirely new tax strategy. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 crypto mining countries that people in the crypto industry have told me about and give you my opinions on each. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, I'm always looking for the next great place. And I think that crypto and crypto investors are so aligned with that, which is why when someone recently told me, hey, Andrew, I think one of the best places to mine for cryptos is the United States because you can get relatively cheap electric prices and blah, 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 I said, I don't agree. I actually made a video where I said, if you are a US citizen and you're doing crypto investments, you really need to look at getting a second passport as a backup strategy. Who knows what the regulations will be like in the US? They've been all over the map. And I think that if you're in crypto, it's because you don't trust the system, because you want an alternative. And to me, the United States is the ultimate epitome of the system. It's the Federal Reserve. It's all this stuff that crypto is against. Now, I'm not imparting my opinion on that specifically, but I'm just saying, I don't want to be involved in a country that's like the man if my goal is being in crypto. So mining in the US, I'm not going for the lure of cheap prices. Another place that was suggested was Venezuela because the government is subsidizing energy prices. I don't really want to get into bed with communist regimes. I don't want all the risks that come with Venezuela, both on a business front and on the personal front of having to go there. And quite frankly, I think even going to Venezuela is going to cause some people problems on a passport level in the coming years, depending on what happens. But there are a couple countries that I do like. Obviously, we've talked a lot here at Nomad Capitalist over the years about Georgia. We've talked about all the different opportunities there. And when I met someone earlier this summer in Georgia, he's saying, yeah, I'm doing a big scale crypto mining operation. Now, he was actually heeding my advice. He was a US guy who was getting his second passport, and his goal was to actually expatriate because he says, being tied to the US is not helping me. I want to live in Europe. I want to build my crypto business in Europe. His base of operations was Georgia because you have low electricity prices, you have a super pro-business and business-friendly government. You have a government that's very friendly to the blockchain, and the government is actually moving some of their records onto the blockchain. They want to be an innovator in that space. What people don't understand about Georgia is that the central bank and the banks themselves, while relatively easy to deal with in general, I made a video on that, aren't very friendly to Bitcoin and aren't really friendly to crypto. So if you're planning on using the banks in Georgia for actual conversion into fiat, that's probably not a good idea. Another place that has been mentioned is Iceland. Now, obviously, Iceland has a lot higher expenses than Georgia, but I think it's a really interesting place. I like the geothermal energy, and I've talked about Iceland as being the best place to host your website for years now because they're not in the EU, they don't really play by that set of rules, they're not under the influence of all of the nanny state stuff that's happening. It's still in Europe, but it's a bit different, and so while it's a really expensive place, they have been open to people coming and taking advantage of all this surplus of energy. And so I think that's a great thing to do. I probably like starting off in Georgia a little bit better, but Iceland has a lot of great opportunities as well, and it's definitely a bastion for freedom of speech and all the things that crypto investors stand for. The last country that I've discussed with some of my crypto friends is Canada. This is the wild card for me because it has some of the elements of places like Iceland. It's somewhat independent. It has that large source of cheap energy. It's up there in the north and it's just wide open, and you think, okay, the government could potentially be open to this. However, my concern is that Canada and the US, too close together, too much influence, too much copycatting. To me, while there is the potential of the cheap energy, I like the more independent, small countries doing their own thing. Those to me are better options. My strategy for business and for life in general is I want to be tied to smaller countries. If I look at a big country, I say there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong. Small countries need investment. They're nimble. They are changing. Look at the countries that are pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto. We have a video on that. We have an article on that. It is Malta, it's Bermuda, it's Liechtenstein. These are tiny countries. They have to have an edge. And so when someone said Russia is a potential, I said, that's interesting, but my fear is too slow-moving, too big, too top-down. I like the Georgias, the Icelands the best. I think there are some wild cards, and there are definitely places like the US that you're going to want to avoid when you're doing your crypto business.
I'm Andrew Henderson, and if you're looking for a way to legally reduce your taxes, build your freedom, and create wealth faster as a global citizen, then you've come to the right place. I want you to do 3 things right now. Number 1, click the button to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to get notifications so you never miss a new video. Number 2, get a copy of our #1 best-selling book, Nomad Capitalist, on Amazon and learn all the dozens of benefits of our lifestyle. And number 3, if you're already a 6- or 7-figure entrepreneur and you want to put these strategies in place, go to nomadcapitalist.com and find out how to get some help.